All right, guys, I've been posting coverage all day today for this season 7 of Rivals, guys. I'm excited. I'm excited and cautious, but we have our first look at White Fox. Her official hero trailer is out right now. Let us take a look at it and share our reactions. I'm very scared, but I'm very hopeful and I'm optimistic and I'm excited all at once. Let's just go ahead and check it out. Enough talking. Let's do it.
White Fox here. The hunt begins.
I mentioned it. I love her design. Okay.
Perfect synergy.
Never miss.
All right, there's a lot happening.
And here.
Bro, she's literally Kiriko. I love the map too. We're gonna break this down.
Ancestral power.
That's her melee healing. Nice. God Lord.
Come with me. I'm ready. Beware of the gumiho.
The Gumiho. All right, come on.
Silhouette shiver.
Execution.
Wait, what does her ult do?
Outfox them all.
All right, y'all. There's a lot happening there. There's a lot happening there. We got to try to break this down as best as we can, y'all. There's a lot happening here. There's a lot happening here, and it's I don't know. Okay, my wife is gonna love this character because of how the abilities go out. I thought she was gonna be fully melee, but it does seem that melee is incorporated into her kit, so she can melee heal, but it is not the only way that she can heal. So okay, let's just see how this works. Let me try to take out whatever I can from this, break it down as best as I can. Yeah. All right, let's see what we got going on here. So all right, love her design. I said it before. Can't wait to see what skin she launches with. All right, let's see. Okay, first of all, she has 15 ammo. Let's go left to right. She has 15 ammo. She has 275 HP. Now we know that doesn't necessarily mean that she will have that on launch. They have changed HP values before because Rogue launched with a higher HP count and now she's lower. Same thing with Ultron, a couple other heroes. So this could be the same thing here for White Fox, okay? But 275 is where she's starting at in this trailer. Okay. She has her right click, which looks like it's her fox form, and it looks like it uses one of the 3 charges that's in the middle here. I don't know that for sure. I'm just guessing because the symbol looks the same. But that looks like what at least not her fox form, but she sends a fox out at least. So maybe a straight line heal that maybe does damage and piercing, healing, and damage. She has 3 charges of that. Her shift ability, we'll have to see what that is. I'm gonna play this in slow-mo so I can just kind of see what's actually happening here. But let's go and let's go to 0.25 and let's see what's happening here. So okay, so that was her primary being used, or her, let's see, let's skip forward a little bit. All right, so she's shooting her primary right now, and first of all, her primary looks a little bit ridiculous. It looks like it auto locks onto targets. Excuse me. So am I seeing that correctly? Her primary bounces to Punisher. It heals him and it goes through and it targets it. Like oh bro, she's literally bouncing it off the ground. It auto targets Punisher and then it attacks the person in the front. Holy, that's what it looks like. It looks like what's happening here. Okay, so it looks like at least within a short range. I don't know how, we don't know the range on this, but she can bounce the heals off of the ground. It auto targets the ally, but also the enemy. So is this a guaranteed hit on the enemy like every single time? I mean, that's not like an annoying thing because Cloak and Dagger has a similar thing as well, with Dagger, her primary being able to auto lock on target. So that's not really too much of a big of a deal. But man, so okay, so it looks like it's piercing through. It does the heal. Okay, it does the heal. Keep going back too far, guys. It does the heal on Punisher, and then it does some damage on Hela. Now we don't know how much damage that does because Punisher is shooting at Hela and Mantis as well, so we can't really say that it does a big chunk of damage, but it looks pretty strong. It looks good for building up. And again, they know they're nerfing we know that they're nerfing the ult charge. So but anyways, so yes, you shoot that out and it bounces off of Punisher, bounces off the ground, goes to Punisher and straight to Mantis. Like, that is kind of crazy. So yeah, these orbs you can either shoot directly. Good. So that looks like what ability was used there? Same primary. So you do a direct hit. All right, I'm not seeing anything new here. Okay, this is the right click, so it looks like it uses the middle gauge. Yep, it does. It uses the middle gauge. And this has a big wide area. Holy crap. Okay, this is a pretty wide area of effect right here. So it's a big AoE, a line AoE going straight down the middle. And is it strictly damage or also heal? Because if this is a healing ability, which I'm assuming it does healing and damage based on what they said in the dev vision, the Thor, let's say you can fit at least your entire squad, or at least a good 3 or 4 people, honestly, if they're all clustered up together. That's a burst heal to everybody and burst damage to the entire enemies. I'm assuming if it does both heal and damage, that is an insane amount. Doesn't look like it does too much damage though. You see, like, they're cleaves, so both Cloak and Dagger and Hawkeye, so it does do the cleave damage, we know that. But it doesn't look to be like a serious amount of damage. It looks decent enough, but it's enough to put pressure on a crowd. And bro, you can bounce, that's crazy. So you can straight up attack people and the healing orb goes to Thor. So you don't even need to attack. You can literally attack and it'll bounce off and attach to the nearest ally. That is very strong. Wow, she's gonna be a big pick. I don't know how big her healing potential will be, but that is insane. So yeah, she's just throwing orbs in the middle and it's damaging and healing. You don't even have to think. That's very brain dead, low key. I hate using that word, but I feel like she will have some high IQ plays. I love the Kitsune, like Nine-Tail Fox. Also, this map low-key looks like Deadlock. I ain't gonna hold you. Even though yeah, they're both in the same area, but yeah. All right, so here we go. Another ability. Now this says Shift Guard. I don't know what that means, but the same things are happening here. She's shooting orbs, it's damaging, and it's healing at the same time. Now, what does the Shift Guard do? She move. Oh no, is the Shift the Kiriko ability? It is. Oh, it literally does like a Suzu, bro. She's literally, wait a minute, what happened here? She is literally, it's a 12-second cooldown, but she's literally Kiriko. They just took that straight from Kiriko. All right, so she dashes and it's a guard, so it seems like it does a block. So it does say guard, so it seems like you can dash to the nearest opponent. So I think this is where the high IQ plays will have to come in, because it's a 12-second cooldown. It's not super long, but there is going to be a niche use for this. It does look like this guard has a 200 HP shield. Maybe it does a burst healing effect on top of it too. I don't know, but excuse me. But there's at least 200 HP to be block incoming damage here. So that's pretty strong. So this guard, yeah, it straight up blocked the ult. So anybody inside of that is not going to get hit. I think obviously a mag ult or something like that's going to straight up just destroy the damage on that, but it blocks the initial impact like an invis shield. So that looks very, very strong. And then here's the example we're talking about. Uses the right click ability, which shoots the Kitsune, the little fox, the Nine-Tail Fox, literally shoots it down the middle, burst heals the team, but Iron Fist is already at full health. He was doing a little charge and overshield, but it cleaves everybody in a straight line. So that is, it's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of damage, a lot of sustained damage. Cleave damage, that's good. Wow, she's like a stronger Sue in a way. All right, so still cleaving. We don't know what the E ability does yet. We will figure that out. All right, more damage, more heals, more of the same. All right, what else we got here? What does her E ability do? Oh, also I'm noticing her right click does have a cooldown, so you can't spam that. It seems you can use it once. Once you use it, there is a 6-second cooldown on it, so you can't spam it. So but you do need charges though. So I mean, The question I want to ask now is, does the tail gauge charge faster than the right click, or does the right click or the cooldown on the right click, or does the cooldown faster? Because if the cooldown's faster, then you can 100% spam use it every 6 seconds, but then you'd be out of charge because you'd have to wait for it to charge. But if it charges up relatively quickly, then I don't know, it just kind of makes no sense to have the cooldown, but we'll have to see what happens. It looks like it charges up pretty fast. Yeah, that's going to be charged up pretty fast. I don't understand why the cooldown is there. Does the cooldown get refreshed if it's full charge? I don't know. I don't know why the cooldown exists in that state anyway. If it charges up quickly anyway, might as well just remove the cooldown altogether. Or just keep the cooldown and give it no gauge. I don't know. Anyways, maybe I'm thinking too small. Okay, here she uses the okay, so in the guard form, I was wondering how the melee works. How does the melee work? Is that the E ability? Okay, so she guards and then he presses E. Okay, and that's a 15-second charge here. So now you can do this big melee cleave attack that heals and damages. So this is good for anti-dive. All right, still the melee attacks, and it's also self-healing. I'm noticing, holy crap. Okay, so yeah, so this is also self-healing. So she's healing herself in this mode here. All right, there's a whole lot of combos happening, a lot of animations. She's self-healing with every hit that she does. Jesus, how do you even practice this combo? And it seems like that last hit does a big amount of damage. He's already low, but that tail does a big AoE attack. Holy crap. Okay. And there's a good, like, so 15 seconds of that is pretty grueling. But how long does it last? We shall find out. So here's that cleave move again. All right. Does a big burst heal. And then shift guard. And then goes right into the E. Attacks Daredevil. Cleave, cleave, cleave. Does that little dash combo again. You're gonna have to really practice that because you can't really control it. It's all on that timer there. I see the combo. Okay, we don't know how long the cooldown is on that. Is it? Can you just use that forever, dude? Like, I don't know. Did I miss it? Or does that also use your resources? Does that use your because if it uses your tails, then I think that would also give the resource a secondary purpose that is shared between two cooldowns, which makes it more difficult because you'll have to manage your cooldowns better. You can't spam. So like if you use your right click for the cleave, but you also need it seems like it's going to be situational. So you use that and it's probably a shared resource. So that would be interesting. Maybe it does use it. I don't know. It doesn't, because like when this animation happens, it doesn't show. Like after she gets the kill on the Winter Soldier and the magic, it doesn't necessarily show what happens after the cooldown. It just shows the kill and then it leaves time on the cooldown. Yeah, it doesn't really show what happens. So you press that, but I'm assuming that gauge is shared by the tail. See, she uses one tail and maybe you need at least 2 tails to go into your full mode. Maybe the more tails you have, the longer you can stay in this form. That'd be very interesting. There you go. That's the dash. You'd have to really practice that. An AoE tail. So yeah, if you time your slashes properly, you can get them out of position. Nice. And then her ultimate, I'm a little confused as to what it does. I'm not gonna lie. So here she goes. She does her thing, and here's a team up with Luna. Because we saw a bunch of ults going off, okay? So yeah, she goes, she heals. She's healing through that. She uses the ult. All right, so it's just the anti-CC or something like that, right? Or it makes enemies earthbound? I don't know, but it doesn't look like a massive healing circle. But it gives her massive HP though. Holy crap, I'm noticing that now. Like she goes from 275 to 9. Oh my God, that's gonna be atrocious to deal with. How long? Okay, so Jesus, 10 seconds being basically a tank for 10 seconds. You can be a tank for 10 seconds. And then you get an additional ability, your right click here, which is healing. And then the damage. Holy crap. Okay, so she's then. All right, they show the Star-Lord here, but I don't know. Oh, wait, so if that ult is active, Does that just make, so basically, oh, so it makes your entire team like, okay, something happens to Star-Lord there. So okay, you right click the Star-Lord and he's getting, oh, so crap, he gets iframes. So Star-Lord gets iframes. Damn. Iframes and a constant heal, a regen? Holy crap. How long does that last for as long as she's in that form? That is ridiculous. Lots of stuff happening here. Damn. Just attacks with primary. Holy crap, dude. Oh my God, she's living through that Punisher ult. Damn. Okay, so it seems that right click, you can, I don't know if it just targets everybody. Never mind, it is a big healing. Not only does it heal, but it gives him iframes. I don't know. I feel like that's too much, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that's a little bit too much. He gets invulnerability because it looks like he gets invulnerability because the strange portal just doesn't do anything to him. See, okay, so right click, it says right click confirmed. Can that only just be used on one person? Yeah, maybe it can just be used on one person. So it gives it to the Star-Lord. He gets the iframes because the strange ult doesn't do jack. And then he just lives through a Punisher ult, but the Punisher isn't constantly shooting him, but he just lives through that. And then here she goes, running through like nothing. Just one taps to Strange, well, he's already low health. 900 HP. Oh my God, bro. She becomes a tank that can heal for 10 whole seconds. Nah, bro. She's gonna be a menace and a problem. So we'll see how the community reacts to that. Oh my God. Wow. She looks very powerful. We'll have to see. I mean, all the characters look very strong in the trailer, so we do have to consider that fact. But yeah, no, she does look pretty strong. She does look pretty strong. Okay. Wow. All right, y'all. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed my reaction and my thoughts to this. I'll see you in the next one. Later.